Hello and welcome to an episode of Atomic Vinyl Reviews. My name is Jacob and today I'm doing something a little bit off-brand. I know I usually review kaiju and monster movies, at least something sci-fi related and that sort of stuff. But I did review the Joker, so I kind of wanted to review this one just because. And also I am actually a huge Harley Quinn fan. Just to further prove that, aside from this little figurine of Harley Quinn and this little figurine of the Joker, which makes him a lot shorter than her for some reason, and this figurine of Ultraman, just because he's colored like Harley Quinn, and this figurine of their combined family's dog, the little Muto that I have here. So aside from all of those things, if Future Me in editing would please, come on Future Me, put the thing up.
2 hours later.
Sure, dude, I can totally do that. Hey guys, it's Future Jacob here, just doing the old editing, and what I'm about to show you is a photo of a painting of a Harley Quinn poster that I made a while ago, just to prove how much I love this character. And naturally, this is the Harley Quinn from the animated series, the Batman animated series, which is like the best Harley Quinn. Margot Robbie does great, like I said, but the Harley Quinn from the Batman animated series is 100% my favorite DC character, right about there with the Joker, also from the animated series, of course, pardon, voiced by the legendary Mark Hamill. So yeah, I'm gonna show you that and kick you back to past Jacob again. But before I do, I'll also just apologize for the poor lighting quality and video quality in this video. We're both filming this at nighttime, and nighttime isn't very good for my filming routine because my proper light doesn't work in my room, so I have to use the shitty lamp. So this is the best I can do. But yeah, here's the photo. Kick you back to past Jacob. Ciao. Thank you. So what Future Me just put up there was a photo of a painting that I did of Harley Quinn, a great big poster. I gave it to my girlfriend a while back. But yeah, I'm a big Harley Quinn fan, so that's why I'm doing this little review here. So, this is the movie that we're reviewing, I should probably say. And I have to have the wiki open to read the title, because it's goddamn long. It's called Birds of Prey, and the little subtitle that goes under it is "And the Fabulous Emancipation of One Harley Quinn," which is a big mouthful, not quite as long as Godzilla GMK, or in its full length, Godzilla, Mothra, and King Ghidorah, giant monsters, all out attack. So it's not quite that long, but it's getting there. So this film is the next in the long line of DCEU movies. So this one is a direct sequel pretty much to the, what was it called? That film that nobody really liked. The Suicide Squad that came out a couple of years ago, which again starred Margot Robbie as our favorite little Harley Quinn, and yeah, that film also set up and introduced the world to Jared Leto's take on the Joker, one which is best forgotten, and thankfully this film does. Like, it completely scrubs him out of this continuity. It's kind of weird. I mean, it's implied that he's canon and all of that, but they just completely don't show him at all in this film. The only times we do see the Joker is just like in little cartoony flashback bits in the very intro of the film. So yeah, where to begin with this film? I'm not going to go too deep into this film or too deep into spoilers, but overall I will say that I liked the movie. I have some minor nitpicks with it, but overall I will say the movie is very entertaining. The cast is all pretty well cast, and they're pretty funny, and it definitely feels a lot more fleshed out and like just a better movie than Suicide Squad, where it still has the same thing where it just throws characters at you and kind of does little short clips with all their backstories and that sort of stuff. But unlike the Suicide Squad film, where they're all so rushed and you don't get any sense of the characters. Here they're a little bit more restrained and it flows better and they fit better in the story, and it feels less style over substance. While Suicide Squad is very style over substance, this one actually has a bit more substance to it. And by far the best thing about this movie is definitely Margot Robbie's take on Harley Quinn. She's very well cast in this role, very charismatic, very funny, and every time she's on screen, she totally captures the show, or whatever the phrase is. So yeah, I definitely recommend seeing this film just for her. But aside from just her, we have Ewan McGregor. You know, the guy who played Obi-Wan Kenobi. The last film I saw him in was Doctor Sleep. Which is basically a sequel to The Shining by Kubrick. Nowhere near as good as that film. It was actually kind of, but I still enjoyed his performance in that, and it's good to see him still doing stuff. Like, I remember being, a little kid going to see Star Wars Revenge of the Sith in the cinemas, and he was there being all Obi-Wan Kenobi and being like one of the best things in that film. And here again, he is just totally having a blast with this role in this film, which was great to see. And also his sort of partner in crime, he has this other sort of his BFF or potential love interest dude. I don't know. They're both very flamboyant, but like it doesn't explicitly say. But both of them are great, and his performance is really good. It's actually kind of funny because I watched I don't think I watched the whole thing, but I watched part of Doug Walker's review. He's the guy who does the Nostalgia Critic of this movie, and he said that Ewan McGregor should have been cast as the Joker instead of Jared Leto, and I can totally see that after seeing this film. So he's both like really flamboyant and funny, but also like really creepy and menacing at times. And yeah, he was great in this movie. So I would see it for, again, Margot Robbie steals the show totally, and he's almost right there up there with her. So those two were, make this film worth seeing, I'd say. So DC, you're doing okay. You're doing okay. The action in this film was also really good. They got the guy who directed the action for the, what are they called? John Wick movies. So if you're a fan of the action in those movies, or just action in general, I think you'll really enjoy some of the action scenes in this movie. They're very well shot, very flashy, very well done. The music in here was pretty good too. We had we had Barracuda by Heart playing at some point, so that was awesome. I think we also got a couple of, like, at least one Runaways song, or it might have been a Joan Jett song. I don't remember exactly what it was. So that was pretty good. And the rest of the cast were pretty good too. There was some funny moments in there. So overall, tone-wise, this is sort of like an action comedy kind of a thing. And yeah. To my sort of negatives about this movie, I'm not going to dissect the plot and do all those sort of things because I want to keep this fairly spoiler-free. But so don't worry about that. But my negatives are, this is one of those sort of girl power movies, which I have mixed feelings about because I'm pretty sick of the media pushing some really woke shit. And, but overall, I don't overall have like a what's the word? Anything against like girl power movies in general, but like in this current sort of political climate and the way the media's been and what's happened to Doctor Who and Star Wars and Star Trek, from what I've heard. I haven't been keeping up with Star Trek at all, but I've heard it's been pretty bad in that department too, and same with Game of Thrones. I haven't watched that, but again, I've heard that stuff has been seeping in and destroying those franchises from within. So I can be a bit iffy about those sort of films in recent years. Not to mention Terminator Dark Fate as well. So I'm a little bit iffy on that aspect of the film, but I love films like Charlie's Angels and stuff like that, so they can be done really well. Not the new Charlie's Angels, by the way, I should specify, not the new one, the classic ones from, well, not the like very old TV show ones or whatever they were, but the ones from the early 2000s of Lucy Liu and those gals. But the thing in this film that just kind of rubbed me the wrong way was they they made every single male character in this film either straight up evil, a douchebag, or just completely incompetent, or all the above. The only single one person who didn't fit that was a dude who was on screen for like 2 seconds, who made a very fancy sandwich, which is actually quite important to the plot of the film. So I won't get anything deeper into that, but that one dude was the only person who wasn't shown in a negative light in this film. In fact, the only other person who I thought for a second was going to be like a male character who wasn't shown as evil or bad or douchebag or whatever was, I think it was this old Malaysian guy, some old Asian guy, I don't remember exactly where from, who owned like a takeaway store, who Harley Quinn was staying upstairs above his place, and he was like portrayed as really nice and angelic at the beginning, but then like a few minutes later he like rats her out and then becomes like a bad character really instantly. So that's my only negative, because like I think to make a movie about, you know, girl power and all of that, and like empowering women and all that sort of stuff, you know, go ahead, do that. But I think by making all men either incompetent or just straight up evil is it it I think that's kind of detrimental to what you're trying to do. Now hear me out. If you have to make all the guys look pathetic in order to make the women look better, then that's kind of a bit sad. Like, I think it would be a bit more empowering if, and just better for like gender relations, if they were, you know, if you didn't have films that both picked a side or had to like underpower men unrealistically to make the women look stronger, because then it's just kind of patronizing and that sort of stuff. That's just my take on it. Again, it's a nitpick. If you don't care about that stuff at all, you'll have a blast with this film. It's actually really fun, and I do genuinely recommend going to check it out. One thing I will add, I saw this film 2 times, because both me and my girlfriend are big Harley Quinn fans, so we had to go see it twice. The first time I was super tired, and I didn't have as much fun with the film as I did the second time, and I think part of that again was I was super tired. The other thing was that the film uses sort of non-linear timeline stuff at the beginning. It like jumps into flashbacks and explaining people's pasts, and then like events aren't all happening in the correct order just for segments of the film. And you know, when you're super tired, it can kind of keep you out of the flow. But the second time, once I already knew what was going on, the film had a really good flow to it, and that non-linear timeline stuff actually worked really well the second time, and I had a blast with it. So do bear that in mind. So that's just something to look out for. So yeah, overall, I will recommend this film. Again, Margot Robbie, perfectly cast, does a fantastic job. Ewan McGregor really chews the scenery in this one, is a great antagonist, and I really wish he would have been cast as this universe's Joker, because now I really don't know what the hell they're gonna do. Because in future movies, I would really love to see this version of Harley Quinn with, you know, interact with a version of the Joker, but I think they're going to keep away from Jared Leto, which creates problems because there's going to be continuity errors, or they're going to have to like justify why he would change being the person that he is into a different actor in future films, and it would just be really jarring. I don't know. But yeah, if you want to see a good Joker, watch the Joker movie. That one was fantastic. This film's not as good as that film, but they're completely different genres, so it's like apples to oranges, that sort of stuff. You know what I mean. So yeah, let me know your thoughts down below. What did you think of the movie? If you saw it, would you recommend it? Do you have the same sort of issues with the whole sort of wokeness of a lot of films these days and that sort of stuff as I do? One thing that I find really funny that I actually saw recently, which is also characteristic of this sort of the representation in Hollywood and that whole stuff, and like girl power and that sort of stuff, is I just picked up a random pamphlet when I was in a cinema recently that was just showing, in no specific order, just a bunch of films that were coming out. On the left-hand side of the pamphlet were pictures and ads for Birds of Prey, Wonder Woman, Mulan, and some other film with a female lead that goes around killing people and shooting stuff or whatnot. So that was the whole section was just dedicated to like female action stars. The other section had all the male characters, and what do we have there? We had Peter fucking Rabbit. We had the Doctor Dolittle remake with Iron Man, and we had something else that probably looked dumb and not really actiony at all. So for those people who are still like fussy and being like, yeah, we need more representation, I think you're there. You're pretty much there. I don't know. I might get shit in comments for that, but that's fine. Whatever. So yeah, that's it for this video, guys. Don't forget to like and or subscribe, and next time hopefully I will have more kaiju content up on my channel, because I know that's what you guys like. So yeah, what's the thing I say at the end of these videos? May all your vinyl be irradiated vinyl. Over and out. Bye.